All right. Hey, y'all. We back. Y'all. What's up, y'all? Hey, Annie. Hey, Boo. Oh, I'm so glad. Hey. We are back on this Good Friday. Okay. We get a block shot. We ain't got time. Okay. Y'all doing all right? Hey. All right, let's get into this read. Welcome back to my channel. This is Adana, also known as the Afro Zine. And today I'm reading for the beautiful, handsome collective. Hello, collective. Hey, collective. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is truly appreciated. You are truly appreciated over here. Thank you for all the tips, the donations, the shares, the commentary, just you being here. It is truly appreciated. Thank you so much for your immense support. No matter how you support me. Again, it is truly appreciated. Before we get into this read, do not forget to grab this copy of this book, Wisdom Beyond Wounds. It was created by me to help and assist the collective through all of your trials and tribulations surrounding your shadows, okay? And also your experiences that you may have experienced when you were, intertwined with the actual narcissist. Wisdom Beyond Wounds, readily available for purchase on Amazon.com. All right, thank you so much. All right, channel message here is they didn't break from exposure, okay? They broke when they had to stay inside themselves. Let me change that. Stay inside themselves. All right, let me repeat that. Channel message here is they didn't break from exposure. They broke when they had to stay inside of themselves. Okay? So let's break this down. It wasn't the lie, believe it or not. It was the moment that the narcissist couldn't step outside of themselves anymore, meaning that they did not or they could not confirm the external validation of their lies from anyone. No one is believing their lies anymore. So because they cannot project their lies onto anyone and anyone receive it as such or receive the lie as the truth as such, the internal lies that they have within themselves is what's destroying them mentally. So they can't speak, they can speak about as much as they want, but no one is listening. And they have to sit in their stew surrounding the lies that they live in. If that makes sense, the embodiment of the lies that they're living in, they can't escape that. So it wasn't the lie. It was the moment they couldn't step outside of themselves anymore. Everything stayed. The lies stayed, the guilty conscience stayed, the triggers that they trigger themselves with, everything is being stagnant or still within themselves. And for the first time, so are they. So being fully seen removes their ability to not be there while they are there. Remember, when you're dealing with narcissistic individuals, they love to be the center of attention, but at the same time, they don't like to be the center of attention because it's a double-edged sword. But because they have stayed underneath the radar for so long, they thought that their tactics were still going to work onto whoever they have crossed paths with. So at their deepest level, which is the mechanical part of an actual person, meaning the DNA or the makeup as to what makes a person be in their space or state, right? At their deepest level, they do not remain fully present inside their own experience. There is always a subtle withdrawal, a dimming, or a partial absence that allows them to act without fully being in what they are doing. That's why they escape a lot, okay? Now that absence is not random, of course. It's very calculated and very intentional. And it's also very functional. So it protects them from the total impacts of themselves. The lie, so if there isn't any lie, or if they cannot survive or thrive off their lie, if they cannot thrive or survive, hold on, wait, I lost my train of thought. Give me a sec. Give me 1 second. Let me repeat that. There is always a subtle withdrawal, a dimming, a partial absence that allows them to act without fully being in what they are doing. That absence is not random, it's very functional. So it protects them from the total impact of themselves. Without the lie, they'll fall apart. That's what I wanted to say. If they cannot thrive within their lies, or if they cannot live within their lie, they're going to fall apart. So when you see them clearly, that absence collapse. They can't partially leave the moment of themselves. They are forced into full presence inside their own actions, their own intent, and their own patterns, all at once. It's like the truth is being hit or shown to them all at once. And they don't have the internal structure to stay there. The internal structure that they don't have is the truth. That's why the truth crushes them every time they are triggered by it or they have to live in it. So they're living in this is their body, right? And their body is completely filled from the top to the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor, right? 100% filled with lies. Some way, somehow, there's a crack within their space or within their mind where the truth starts to seep in, right? So when the truth starts to seep into their knowledge or from their perception, the truth is very cancerous to their lies. Just as how they wanted their lies to be cancerous to your truth. No, no, no. The truth that you spoke, you stated, or just shown or exhibit, however it resonates, it penetrated them in some way, some profound way, to the point where now they have to live with that truth amongst their lies. So now they have a coagulation of both the truth and the lies. And because the truth is much, 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 much more heavier than the lies, it is superseding all of the lies that they thought that they could hide or that they could use or whatever the case may be. So now they're stuck in their body within themselves with the truth and they cannot escape it. So this is why they're okay. Hopefully that makes sense. So So since they don't have the internal structure to stay there with the actual truth amongst their lies, that's where the mental system or the bodily system of them starts to fail, decay, and destroy themselves. You eliminate the last layer of distance between them and themselves. Everything they rely on creates distance, time, distortion, fragmentation. Anything that prevents direct contact with their full self. They're not operating with their full self. They're not operating from their full self. They're operating from their partial self. The partial self are the half truths or the half lies, if that makes sense. So when you come together or you connect with them energetically and you have the whole truth and they have the half truth or the half lies, and you come together and it's combined, well, your whole truth is going to completely swallow their half lies or their half truths, and they can't handle that. So when you perceive them without distortion, you remove the final layer of them. There's no delay, no reinterpretation, no space to become anything else. It's immediate, very, very, very immediate, unfiltered contact with what they are in that moment. In that moment, they are a liar. In that moment, in that space and time. So that level of contact isn't something they can regulate or soften. They can't regulate the truth because they don't know how to operate in the truth. It doesn't feel like being seen by you. It feels like being unable to escape themselves. So even though they try to run away from you or try to disconnect from you, the truth follows them or the truth haunts them, if that makes sense. So that's the point where the reaction is no longer about control or image. It's about the inability to remain intact under that level of self-contact. So let's break this down further here. You showed them a different reality in regards to who you are, literally, figuratively, truthfully. They received that, even though they could not receive it or they're not able to accept it, they still received it energetically. And everything that we do represents energy. Think of life, think in terms of energy. They thought that their energy was much stronger and much bigger than the truth that you spoke or the truth that you embodied. That is not the truth. The truth is always going to outweigh the lies, which is why a lot of people who live in lies or embody lies run away from that said truth, if that makes sense. So when they did eventually disconnect from you or walk away from you or ran away from you, the truth followed them. So it's like you planted a seed within their mind, their deceptive mind or their distorted mind. And every time they keep thinking about you, the truth keep reappearing. And the more that the truth keeps reappearing, it's starting to grow and grow and grow and metastasize into something that they cannot handle. The absolute 100% truth, the wholesome truth. That makes sense? That's why they try to call you evil, but you're not evil for speaking truth. But evil people, of course, are going to say that because they have to project or they have to push the blame onto someone else so they can recollect themselves or they can rejuvenate themselves to get out of the truth that they're feeling, the triggers of the truth that they're feeling. All right, let's see. See, they are dependent on their lies, not your truth. Because if they were dependent on your truth, they wouldn't be going through what they're going through right now. So they were truly dependent on their lies, and you completely slashed their dependency of the lies by showing them a new perspective when it came to truth, and they can't handle that. You were the right person for the job. Yes. Great job, collective. You were the correct person for this job. They were socially conditioned to think, to assume, to perceive that lies were the truth. That's why they kept doing it. But why they kept doing it here, again, you planted a seed within their mind because they had to prove a point to you that their lies outweighed your truth. And again, that is not true. The truth holds a certain vibration that a lot of people cannot handle. It takes a lot of guts, a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of energy to stay in a high vibrational space or state of truth. That is the truth. Well, how do you know that? If you ever spoke the truth to someone and they're not ready to handle it, what are the outcomes surrounding a person who cannot handle the bandwidth of the truth? They get upset. They get very irate. They get angry. Hell, sometimes they may call you out your name. They may actually want to physically fight you. You know what I mean? They want to do something for you to feel the burn of the truth that you spoke, but it's going to show up in a way where they're going to physically cause some kind of something towards you, if that makes sense. So the unspoken truth is here, right? So here's their half truth or their half lies. It doesn't matter. A half truth is still a lie. It is. A half truth is still a lie. You're coming along with your whole truth and you completely swallow them whole, surrounding the whole truth that you had. They never thought it could happen, or they never thought it was a real thing, or they never thought that it was something that could actually happen. But again, looks can be very deceiving surrounding the truth that you embody, right? So when you place that seed within them, because they wanted to initially place a seed of doubt within you with lies, and they wanted you to sit in your head, and they wanted the lies to metastasize in your head to get you to go stir crazy. But again, despite people trying to intercept or incept a actual a seed of lies in your head, if it's not true, it's not going to grow. They wanted the seed of lies to grow within your head. That's why a lot of them try to aim for your mind. Your mind is a breathing space. Breathing is a breathing space for either growth or discomfort. That's up to you. Everybody's going to be slightly different. But I highly, and I hope and pray, that you're utilizing your mind in a great way where your mind is actually consistently growing in a positive way. Nonetheless, they thought they planted a seed of deception into your head, and they wanted to sit back and see if you were going to go crazy based on the small seed they placed in your head. It didn't work that way. But what did work is that you placed a seed of truth in their mind. You told them something about themselves, whether it's verbatim, whether it's through actions, whether it's through silence, whatever, however, okay? But you mentioned something to them and it created a seed of truth and it started to spread within their mind. And because they can't escape their mind, going back to my notes, they didn't break from exposure. They broke when they had to stay inside themselves. So not only do they have to stay inside their head, the truth is also there too, and they can't handle that. Does that make sense? So they're blaming you for why they can't get out of their head surrounding you, because the truth keeps replaying over and over and over and over in their head in regards to what you either stated or did towards this person. This is why they are afraid of change, because the only thing they know within their mind are lies, if that makes sense. So now they're feeling very hopelessness, or they're having a lot of hopelessness that they are feeling, or it is overriding the mental space or the mental state of themselves, and they don't know how to exit. Can y'all see me okay on Instagram? Let me know, please. So now they're desperate. This is why, this part's not funny here, but this is why a lot of people, specifically in relationships, or we'll say more so platonic relationships or intimate relationships, where you may see a lot of red rum, where the person takes another person out and then they take themselves out. That's why you see a lot of those type of scenarios play out. I'll break it down. The reason why you see a lot of people transitioning over surrounding relationships and connections is because the thought that they have in their mind is very negative, of course, and they don't know how to escape that. And because they feel that you are truly responsible or fully responsible for how they are thinking in regards to what they're trying to do towards you, this is why people in connections, I'm trying to find my words because TikTok, I ain't trying to get dinged on TikTok. This is why people who are not right in their head or not healthy in their mind tend to take their partner out and then take themselves out. So this is where this person is, or blind spot. They're desperate because they want to get out their head and they're blaming you for why they're there based on the truth that you spoke, and they can't get out of it. Hopefully that makes sense. Tell me about the dependent. If they would have successfully had you dependent on their lies, the lies would have continued to grow within your head or in your mind. And they would have been okay with that. They would have been completely happy with that. And they would have sat back and they would have watched you spiral out of control. They would have been completely happy with that. That gives them a sense of bravado. That gives them a sense of control. It gives them a sense of power as well. That they were successfully able to break down a person whose mind is very strong. And this is normally what they do. Narcissistic individuals tend to go after people's mind that are very strong and fortified. But yet again, if you have vulnerabilities that you have not quite healed from, stay quiet. Don't speak about your vulnerabilities until or unless you've healed it, because people are always going to throw back those same vulnerabilities that you may have discussed with them back in your face to break you down mentally or also emotionally. So be very mindful of what you say or state about yourself to other people, specifically if you have not quite healed that part or aspect of self, if that makes sense. Because it's pretty hard, or it's very hard to break down someone's mind that is truly strong or fortified within the mental space, i.e. you guys. And this is why they work extra hard or go the extra mile to ensure that they'll do whatever they need to do to get you to be dependent based on the lies that they speak towards you. All right, tell me about the dependent. Karmic. That's exactly what they are. So I'll take what you said. Ezra Brown states on YouTube, stop spying. Stop spying. The reason why they're spying is because they're trying to see how they can get you back into their web of lies, or into their lair, L-I-A-R, their lair of lies. That is why they're spying. They were only going to stop spying when they have completely 100% capture you mentally. That's the only time they will stop spying. They're not in control of you. They're going to spy on you. They're going to be obsessed over you. If they have control over you, they ain't got nothing to worry about. They know that they have the control, so they don't have to do as much to keep you in that said control state. If that makes sense. So nonetheless here, dependent and karmic. The karmic wanted you to be karmically dependent on them based on the lies that they told you. Tell me about the right person. They don't like the fact, for the ones that resonate, of course, they don't like the fact that you find this very funny, very comical, that you're laughing at while they are going through a lot of immense changes. Hey, it is what it is. They're the one initially that tried to put you in a compromising position. And when you were there, or if you were there, they thought it was funny. They thought it would be the end all be all for you. But now that the tables have turned and you are the right person for this position to actually subdue this person, or to more so bring this person to their knees with truth. That's it. You brought them to their knees sincerely and genuinely with just truth. That's it. You ain't touch them. You're not around them. You just said what you needed to say. And that infuriated them. It truly did. So don't find this to be a laughing manner anymore because they can't get out of their head. But remember, the lies were already in their head. You didn't place lies in their head. I need to make that very clear. You did not place lies in their head. It was already there when you crossed paths or you connected with that person. If that makes sense. All you did was just show them who they were. They wanted to mirror you so bad, right? And if that's the case, the mirror that you showed them was simply and merely the truth. So how can they get mad at you for simply being said thing, the truth? Make it make sense. That's why I keep saying they don't make sense. They're very nonsensical. And why should you be arguing and fighting with someone that's not making sense? Anywho, they wanted you to socially be conditioned to accept their lies as such. No, that's not how does that benefit you? It don't benefit you, it benefits them. And the benefit for them is control and putting you at a disadvantage. That's the benefits for them. So they hit a brick wall surrounding the social conditioning that they thought they had you in. Yeah, I'm going to get the collective to believe my lies. Yeah, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make them believe my lies. And they did. They did everything possible, even if they specifically said it to you verbatim, or they did it behind your back. Either way, they told you or they showed you that they were going to prove a point to you in regards to the social conditioning. And all it did was to get you to successfully speak the unspoken truth that they can't handle. Oh, man. The deeper meaning or the in-depth meaning surrounding social conditioning states you're making decisions and plans based on external expectations that don't serve your highest potential. At what point in time do you think or feel that lies will serve you to your highest potential? When they're specifically using lies to have you in a controlled environment, or a controlled predicament, or a controlled outcome. Give yourself the space to release and find your own path. And that's what you did with the truth. You met this person, however you met them or however you crossed paths, and they already had all that evilness or griminess within themselves. They were so far up your ass that they had to show you that they could mirror you, and they could not. That's why they can't handle this. Their intentions weren't pure. Their evil, wicked intentions were not pure. And it's being shown in that way. I'm going back to my notes. It wasn't the lie. So they didn't break from exposure. They broke when they had to stay inside themselves. But it wasn't the actual lie. It was the moment they couldn't step outside of themselves anymore. Inside themselves are filled with lies. That's why they project it onto others. Lie, 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 lie. When they can no longer project, so now their mouth is sealed, their voice is sealed. Now all of the containment or all of the Lord child, all of the dang, I'm trying to think of a word. The particles, I'll put it that way. All the particles of their lie is now stuck within themselves, and they can no longer project it onto you or to other people. Where do you think it's going to go? It's going to stay within themselves to the point where it's going to start to stew and cook and keep cooking and keep cooking and cooking and cooking until they can't take it anymore. How is this your fault, collective? How? A person that embodied lies and can no longer project their lies onto you, can no longer shout their lies onto you, can no longer push their lies onto you. How is it your fault that they cannot escape themselves from the lies that they embody within themselves? Make it make sense. It wasn't the lie. It was the moment they couldn't step outside of themselves anymore. They can't take off this suit anymore to step outside themselves. They can no longer take off the mask and step outside the mask. They can no longer do it anymore. Everything stayed, including the lies. And for the first time, so did they. They can't handle self, which is crazy. Crazy. But a person who can't handle self is going to mentally self-destruct. That is the truth. That's the truth. So we have snack here. Yeah, speaking truth is like a snack to you. It's regular. It's like, okay, what am I having today? Okay, I'm gonna have a snack of truth. You can speak truth like it means nothing to you. It's like, okay, did you do that? Yeah, I did that. Did you do that? I didn't do that. Did you go to the store today? I didn't go today. Did you go to the store today? Yeah, I went to the store. Like, you can just say truth so freely, just like, okay, yeah, whatever. It doesn't. It's second nature. It's a part of you. That's why some people think and say that when you speak truth, you come off as very extra, which is crazy, but whatever. You do too much. You always saying something. That's a ploy or them gaslighting you to stop speaking truth, because when you speak the truth, it do come off as extra to them, not to you. To them, it's like vomit just being thrown up all at one time. They can't handle that. That's why they have to show you or prove to you that their lies mean more, or more so that they are afraid of change. Stop talking. You always saying something. Why are you always saying that? Why are you always doing that? You need the this. You need the that. And you ain't doing anything. Again, if they did not want to hear the truth, all they had to do was just stay far away from you. That's all they had to do. They were the glutton of punishment for trying to be near you. They wanted to get close to you. For what reason? Many different reasons, of course. But they specifically wanted to get close to you, to shut you up. And that was the worst thing that they have done for themselves, with trying to get you to shut up. Because you have a lot to say. And you will not be shutting up no time soon. You got stuff to do. And your voice is a part of it. So if they don't like what you have to say, they need to move around. But they can't. So they want to penalize you because they feel stuck in your truth. Oh, well, that's on them, not you. Hopelessness. Detective is in reverse. So now that you're speaking truth and too much of it, they're attempting to, but of course it failed, because detective is in reverse and they're trying to snoop into your life. They're trying to research into your life. They're trying to comb through and to find any little thing surrounding a lie within your truth. But there's no lies in your truth because you don't speak lies. And to be honest, there are a lot of people out here that cannot believe that a person could actually be truthful. Some people specifically who lies for a living think that truthful people are always lying. Why is that? Because all they know are lies. Of course, they won't understand where truth is coming from or how to receive the truth because they don't do it. So they always thought that you were an op of theirs, and you're not. To be honest, they're an op of themselves. By placing them in your space, they become an op of themselves, not of you. You're not an op to them because you're not causing harm to them. They came towards you to cause harm to you with their lies. Your truth was there and is there to protect you, not them. Them. Shit. They could not find any receipts surrounding any lies around your truth. They couldn't find anything. And that made them flip off even more, like a piece of paper in the wind, child. So now they're paranoid because they can't find anything on you. They're not going to find anything on you if you are speaking truth, if you are embodying truth, if you are living in your truth. Just because you're living in your truth doesn't mean that other people are going to be able to accept that. Yeah. A lot of people can't be their authentic self, whether that's the actual truth of it or the actual lie, which is still considered the truth. If that makes sense. They're paranoid because they didn't see your blind spots of your truth. Oh, well, they should have thought long and hard before they came towards you with their foolishness. Oh, well. Oh, well. This is why they don't want to give up, or they're trying their hardest not to give up. But the more they keep pushing on to you, the more paranoid they become. Not you, them. We have key player, but key player is in reverse. They thought that you were the key player for telling lies or for hiding lies. No, they were the key player for speaking lies, not you. That's why they became so desperate. Come on, man. No fighting, no arguing, moving forward. How dare you do that? Are you crazy? You're not going to fight with me with my lies? You're not going to go the extra mile? No, because you don't have to. You do not. You don't have to go the extra mile with a liar. You eliminate the last layer of distance between them and themselves. It's they versus they. Them versus them. Everything they rely on creates distance, time, distortion, fragmentation, or anything that prevents direct contact with their full self, 100%. They're not operating at 100%. They're operating 50% or less. A half lie could be at the 50% mark, 40%, 30, 20, 10, hell, even 0%. Take it how it resonates. But they are not in full direct contact with their truthful self. That's why they're having a hard time being truthful with self. When you perceive them without distortion, you remove the final layer. You see them in all their vulnerabilities, in all of their nakedness, and they don't know how to cover that up. You snatched it clean from them. So now you see them translucent or very clear as day, and you're like, what the how they find that out? How they know that? Somebody told them about me. Now they thinking, going back to paranoid, they think you're talking to people. You're not talking to anybody. You don't give a damn. You ain't calling nobody up. You ain't texting nobody up. You're not doing anything because you simply don't care. You can see and you can feel. You connect with source, divine power, creator energy, universal energy, whatever, however. And it gives you all of the steps that you need to take or you need to see. This is why they felt that you were always in their blind spot. No one didn't tell you anything. They told you. Let me repeat that. No one called or texted you and told you anything about this narcissistic fool. They told you who they were. Huh? The narcissist told you who they were. They sure did. There's no delay, No reinterpretation. No space to become something else. It's immediate, unfiltered contact with what they are in that moment. That level of contact isn't something they can regulate or soften. It doesn't feel like being seen by you. It feels like being able to escape themselves. That's the point where the reaction is no longer about control or image. It's about the inability to remain intact under that level of self-contact. You came in contact of the truest form or the truest, rawest, inauthentic, authentic parts of them. That's what they showed you. Despite them not being an open book, but still being an open book at the same time, they gave you the blueprint as to who they are all the time, all the time, all the time. And they have no one to blame, truthfully, but themselves. So if they can't get out of their head, they need to go see a psychiatrist, a psychoanalyst, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, psychologist, psychoanalyst. They need to go see somebody and go sit on their chair somewhere and speak about all the things that they're going through. But until then, they're not, because number one, they don't accept the idea that they have been defeated by themselves. They're self-beated themselves. If that makes sense, you just merely showed them the mirror. Here you go. Oh, you want to mirror me? Okay, you ready to handle this little dog? You sure? All right, okay, no problem. Truth. Poof. Truth. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Stop talking the truth. Stop saying that. That ain't true. Stop saying that. And then they crashing out. But I thought they were ready. I thought they wanted to play with the big dog. You big dog. Remember, you big dog in this MF, right, collective? You big dog. I thought they wanted to play with the big dogs. It's no fun when the rabbit got the pew-pew, right? It's no fun when the mouse is cornered up against the wall, right? It's no fun when now they're feeling like they're being preyed upon. Ain't that something? They feel preyed upon. Ain't that something? P-R-E-Y. They feel preyed upon. And they feel like you have everything to do with it. And you don't. That's the funniest part. Do you understand your power, collective? Do you? Do you understand? Do you understand the magnitude of the power that you hold in your truth? No one told them to lie. They chose to. That's a choice they made. You made a choice too. You chose to tell the truth. So why aren't you in trouble for speaking the truth in this manner? That makes sense? Yes, Judgment Day. Ring-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Ring-a-ling-a-ling. Baby, them bells is ringing. The bells of truth is ringing. And they can't handle it. I mean, I don't know what to tell them. I don't know. They better call Judge Judy. Judge Joe Brown. Hell, they can call Judge Mathis for all I care. What's the other one? Marilyn something. What's her name? A Hispanic. She was the Hispanic judge. Marilyn something. Can't think of her last name. They can call her too. But judgment is here. And they can't handle the bells of judgment. It is what it is. Million is her name. Marilyn Million, I believe. Hispanic lady with red hair. Judge Lynn Toller. She's another great one. They got many options surrounding the judges that they can call upon. We all know Judge Joe Judge O'Brown he's pretty direct in his approach. Judge Judy is too, and also Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis will tell you straight up, I know a crackhead when I see one. Sorry, you a crackhead. Y'all know Judge Mathis don't play. So now they're in the Nine of Swords here. Lots of nightmare. Can't sleep at night, tossing and turning, trying to get the demon of lies off of them, or the darkness of lies off of them, but yet they love living and thriving in darkness and lies. Make it make sense. You can't handle the darkness of their lies? Like what? They can't handle the spirit of their own lies? Make it make sense. They got to sleep with the lights on. Shit, I don't. I sleep with the lights off. TV off, everything. Hell, even night lights can't help them. They got to keep all the lights on just to sleep. You don't have to do that for the ones that resonate, of course. Every time they attempt to close their eyes, the truth just keeps boggling them down. They can't handle it. They look horrible. If you were to see them today, they don't look good. They don't look cute. They look worn out, child. That's the truth. The moon, that's the truth. Could be a mother figure. Take it how it resonates. Temperance is here. Moon is Cancer. Temperance is Sagittarius. The death card is Scorpio. Then we have the Eight of Swords. This ain't looking good. This is not looking good. They're trying to find a balance between life and death, literally and figuratively, but they can't because all they are hung in suspense or suspension surrounding their lies. They didn't realize that their own lives was going to be the end of them. They didn't even realize that. But yet they kept pushing and pushing the lies. They don't even realize that their own lies was putting them in a space of decay. They don't even realize that. They didn't realize that the uncleanliness of their consistent, bold-faced lies, we're going to put them in a space of endings, many different endings, financial endings, mental endings, psychological endings, emotional endings, physical endings, spiritual endings, all because of lies that they keep wanting to live in and under. That's a dumb issue. Ain't got nothing to do with you. What y'all had for lunch? Y'all ate good? I had some pork chops. Yeah, it was good. Sure was. It sure was. Thank you for the compliment. Hey, Rock. Hey, Boo. Thank you. Hey, Ashley. How you doing, Boo? The ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching two by two, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching three by three. The little ones stop to sniff the tree. And they all come tumbling down to the ground to get out of the rain. Boom, 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 boom. Since they want to be marching and shit with lies, right? Since the leader of their life were lies, right? Well, shit, what they want us to do? 10 of Wands. What the hell they want us to do? They're overburdened by lies. All they got to do is just release it. That's all they have to do is just release the lies. But because the lies is so ingrained within them, is so deep embodied within their DNA makeup as to who they are, it's not that simple. Can life be simple? Absolutely. If you live authentically in your truth, yeah, you're gonna realize life becomes much more simpler when you understand that. It is what it is. So the magician is here with the Five of Cups. Yeah, you transmuted their lies into truth. You broke through the barrier of their lies. Okay, all right, cool. You lying to me? All right, no problem. And they know this too. And you literally just transformed their same lies into truth. Wait, how did you do that? Wait, how'd you transmute that? Wait, whoa, wait. How'd you figure out I was lying? I mean, it's not that hard. They're not hard to crack. Most people think that they are. They're not. I'm telling you, they're not. They're not. Lies come a dime a dozen. Truth, on the other hand, truth is like finding a needle in a haystack. But when you find it, baby, it's like, wow, that's the truth. Yeah. Yeah, lies are a dime a dozen. They want to get out of the space, but the space they want to get out of is their head. You can't get them out their head. They need medical professionals to help them get out of that space. Are they going to go? No, they're not going to go because they don't think they need the help. So what do they want us to do about that? Huh? What do they want us to do about that? If they refuse to see that they need help and they refuse to get the help, what are we supposed to do about that? Somebody could be blowing bubbles. You could be blowing bubbles with a baby or a child. I just see lots of bubbles and I hear kids giggling. So take that how that resonates. There's no sorry. There's no redemption. There's none of that. They did too much. They allowed the lies to overcompensate their life. That's on them. It is what it is. They're seeking someone to perform a cord-cutting ritual. The cord-cutting ritual is them versus them. They have to cut the lies out from them. They can't do it. They can't do it. It takes a very long time to establish a habit. I'll put it this way. It takes 21 days for a person to establish a habit, whatever habit they may be. An exercise habit, eating cleaner habit, walking better, writing, whatever, sleeping better, whatever. Take it how it resonates. It takes 21 days to establish a habit. They couldn't even make it past day one. They couldn't. It's not your fault. So they're trying to seek someone to perform a cord-cutting ritual against themselves. They refuse to see the truth in their lies. So the cord cutting is not going to work. It's them versus them. What am I saying wrong? They're in too deep. Way in too deep. And the more that they spying on you is part of their daily routine. Okay. The more they spy, the more they'll spiral. I'm not hiding nothing dark from any of you guys. I know there's some people that might be afraid to speak about the dark topics. I'm not. Because I strongly feel that's where most of the truth is hidden, is in the darker topics. Most of the dark topics that most people don't want to speak about or communicate about is where all the, we'll say, the roughness or the harshness is where it subsides. No, scrub out all the darkness so you can see what's going on, so you can continue to live in your light space. I mean, of course, it's a balance of things, your light and your dark space. You need to make sure it's balanced. But most of what these people do are completely 100% secluded in their dark space that they want to bring around you. Okay. This is the ending. This is the outcome of a person who has yet to see that they have a mental instability or a mental unwellness, and they refuse to get the help or the assistance that they should be getting, that they should receiving, or they know that they need to get. They don't want to. They don't. I'll even talk about my schooling. I have a professor. I'll be honest, I don't like the professor. I truly don't. I just feel like the information that she gives to the class is very rudimentary and it's giving bachelor's level. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hear me out, because I'm paying for a course to study for my PhD, right? So I expect PhD type of information. And the professor is not giving me that. She's just giving a lot of bachelor stuff, if that makes sense. I say all that to say, because it's all going to make sense. She mentioned in the class that she have quite few clients that has been a client of hers for the past 10 years. And I sat back really flabbergasted. I did, because I'm like, how is it that that professor, and she's a psychoanalyst as well, and she has patients and clients, how is it the same person can be coming to you for 10 years and you still haven't quite see or hit the origin of the reason as to why things are happening in the way that it's happening? That's a red flag to me. A big red flag. Now I could see somebody in therapy for like maybe a year or two. Okay, I get that. But you're actually doing the work, but there's no progress in the client's or the patient's path. And I thought that the professor, who also has a PhD, that was a big red flag for me. So my question here is therapy really doing what it's supposed to do? Because we truly have a mental health crisis. That is the truth. Pandemic, endemic, epidemic of mental health crisis. So with that being said, why is one patient sticking with a therapist for 10 years with no positive outcome? So is therapy really working in the way that it should? That's my question. Because if it was, if it was, mental health wouldn't be so prevalent in the way that it is today. Things that make you go, what's the whole point of therapy if the person who's going to therapy is not receiving, the outcome that they're seeking? And these are individuals that she claimed to say that they're coming and showing up to get help, but she's not helping them. That's why I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm going to make a big difference in this world. It is even going to be, I know it's going to be with psychoanalysts. I know that. And it might be in the court systems, too. Something got to change. Because I'm sick and tired of innocent people being bullied and being harmed and unalived because people refuse to get the help that they truly need. That's my issue. And then the other issue with that is that you have some therapists, not all, some. You have some therapists that just like to play games and take people's money. I got an issue with that too. What are we doing here? I don't want to go outside every day and feel like I got to be fighting in the goddamn Hunger Games. I'm not living life like that. I'm just not. What is being done to change the dynamic and the narrative of the situation? That's my question. I'm talking 10, 15, 20 years. You left the person alone and they're still stalking you and they're still obsessed with you to the point they want to harm you. And that no one sees an issue with that. Not even therapist. And another thing that she mentioned as well too, that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, is that she also said that we don't really take into part about the spiritual aspect of things. And I think that's very important when a person is going to therapy. You need to speak about the spiritual aspect of things as well too, because they may have certain type of spirits or entities on them, and if you're not able to understand it from that point of view, this is my own point of view. You're not going to really be a good therapist. Again, that's my own point of view. So, what are these therapists doing out here? Honestly. All right, I'm getting off my soapbox. Man, causing unexplained body pain and numbness, causing you to act out of character, irrational emotions and mood swing. That's not you, that's them. They have unexplained body pain and numbness because they want to open up Pandora's box, because they want to astral project into you. Why would they not think that you're not protected? Come on. Causing you to act out of character, not you, but them. Irrational emotions and mood swings. Make it make sense. Hey. And they don't realize that when, not everybody, of course, but for the ones that are going to therapy and not receiving any type of result or positive outcome from the situation, they're making the world an even tougher place to be a part of or to live in, specifically and especially innocent people. It's a trickle-down effect. When these therapists, some, not all, are supposed to be doing the correct work to help these individuals, and they're not doing it. Why should you be a therapist then if you're not going to help the individuals? Because yet again, it's a trickle-down effect onto innocent people. Innocent people that always have to keep looking behind their back. Because no one, and when I say no one, meaning the therapists who aren't doing what they're supposed to do, is just letting shit slide underneath the table. Make it make sense. Oh my God. That lady said 10 years. And she was so proud of that. And I'm looking at her like, what the 10 years? Why would you want a client? Why would you want someone to be a client of yours for 10 years? No, I'm going to give you about a year or so, maybe 2. And then, Because if you're not learning if that makes sense, then why am I here? I don't know. I just think different. It's just 10 years with no positive outcome. And they're even in a worse state than they were when they first arrived to her. And I'm like, this lady got a PhD. This lady really, what? Man, I was just like, that don't make no damn sense. Anywho, I'm sorry. That's just how I feel. You will witness their karma. You will. And you are. If you have not, you will. I rest my case. I'm not going to be the dead horse. Sagittarius, take God rest days. You could be a Sagittarius. They could be the Sagittarius. Cancer, you could be a Cancer. They could be a Cancer. Scorpio, you could be a Scorpio, or they could be a Scorpio. Cancer, you could be a Cancer, they could be a Cancer. Aries, you could be an Aries, they could be an Aries. Pisces, Libra, excuse me, Aquarius, Libra, Cancer. If that resonates, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go out there and be great, y'all. You owe that to yourself. Do not become a disservice to yourself. Do not put your dreams on hold. Do not put your life on hold. Go out there and thrive. You truly owe that to yourself. Do whatever you got to do in a positive way, of course, to ensure that you're able to fulfill all of your wildest dreams. Okay? All right. If you would like to join us in the Wisdom Beyond Wounds group, that is on Facebook. The group is free. All you got to do is show up and answer the questions and dive deep within yourself, and you'll be amazed. Give yourself 3 months to 6 months in that group, and you're going to be amazed. You'll be like, dang, yeah, for free. I ain't asking you for let me put it this way. I'm just asking for your participation with self. That's all I ask. You would like to book a private read? All that information is all over my social media outlets. Okay? Y'all take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah, thank you. Oops. Wisdom Beyond Wounds on Facebook. Thank you. See you later. You're welcome.